I will now call the February 16th meeting of the Sports Authority to order. First, I'd like to thank the Tennessee Titans and Nissan Stadium for hosting us this morning. We're glad to have Councilman Bill Withers with us, Councilwoman Nancy Van Rees, and former board member Margaret Bam with us this morning. On Friday, you received the minutes from the January meeting. I hope you've had an opportunity to review them. Are there any questions or additions? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Motion passes. Thank you. The Finance Committee met just before this meeting, and so we're going to hear our finance report from Director
Harrison.
Harrison.
Yes.
Now, we grew up in the same town, and I think we're relatives. I think he knows I know his name.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Finance Committee met this morning at 9:30, and the minutes of the December 1, 22 meeting were approved in addition to the following items: an update on the FY23 operating budget and the FY24 proposed operating budget. For the FY24, staff are seeking any improvements and modifications to its operating budget. The FY23 budget is $2.258 and of which 1.826 million is allocated for insurance. Second, the FY24 capital improvement budget. Number one, the 1.7 billion for the Titan Stadium project coming up from miscellaneous funds, and the 500 million from the state. Second, the Metro Council request from Council Member Nancy Van Rees for 30 million for a training facility upon awards of the NWSL or the WNBA franchise. Did I pronounce that right? Yeah, and for both. Okay, sorry. Councilmember Van Rees and Margaret Bem shared updates on the Women's Professional Sports Initiative and asked the Sports Authority to endorse the request as part of the FY24 capital budget. The Finance Committee recommends approval and the FY24 operating budget.
Okay.
And
So there's a recommendation from the Finance Committee to approve. I will entertain a motion to approve the Sports Authority fiscal year 24 operating and capital budgets. Is there a motion?
second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Chair Harrison.
Next on the agenda, we discussed, we listened to the presentation made by the Titans. They provided an update on the capital expenditures and recent insurance claims. The following items have been added to the projects list. Electrical maintenance, $1.5 million. Elevator will be $400,000. The concrete step repair was $480,000. Titans also reported on the damage for the winter freeze. The next on the agenda was the Bridgestone Arena update, which provided update for the repairs of the November water main break. And that concluded our agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. Any comments, questions for the Finance Committee?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
We were moving so swiftly. I did just want to just express gratitude to Councilmember Nancy Van Rees again, as well as former board member Margaret Bem for leading this charge. I think it's honorable I think that the city needs it, and just thank you all for being on the front line and presenting us with this opportunity of support.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we will have our Executive Director's Report from Monica Faulknerson.
Good morning, everyone. We got a full house. It's good to see everybody. Well, we're moving through the agenda, so I'm not going to really go through it. We have one more action item where the board's going to be asked to act on a resolution, a license and use agreement with competitor group for the marathon coming up in April. And so you'll hear more about that request. This is something that you all are very familiar with. We do it every year. I think last year we did it twice. So we'll find out more about that. And then in addition to that, we'll have a special report from the Titans and also an update from the Mayor's Office Administration on stadium documents and a timeline. That's a brief, are there any questions about the agenda? I always ask, but I think it's very straightforward. The only other things I wanted to mention, and I realized that I did not share with you back in November, that the American Council of Engineering Companies in Tennessee presented an Engineering Excellence Honor Award to the Sports Authority and the Fairgrounds for the Geodis Park Fairgrounds Infrastructure Project. And that was designed by Kimley Horn, and so we've been hearing from our project managers regularly and getting updates, and so I just wanted to really just say congratulations to everyone involved on that project. It's been pretty special. And then also, Geodis Park and the Fairgrounds are up for the Urban Land Institute's Nashville Excellence in Development Award. And so we gave the selection panel a tour maybe 2 weeks ago around the fairgrounds and the expo buildings, and the selection panel came in from all over the country. And so we're looking forward to more information, and again, very proud of everything that's going on out there, but wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Monica.
Are there any questions? Any other questions?
Comments?
That concludes my report.
Thank you. We are moving right along with our agenda. We're down to the consideration of approval of a resolution authorizing the Sports Authority to enter into a license agreement with Competitor Group Incorporated to use Nissan Stadium for its Rock and Roll Marathon. Brandon Little, our Special Events Coordinator, will walk us through this request. Brandon.
Thank you, and good morning. For those of you who do not know me, I came in mid-August, so I'm pretty fresh here. My name is Brandon Little. I'm the Special Events Coordinator of Sports Authority. Let's see here. Today we have a resolution authorizing us to enter into an agreement with Competitor Group, who does the marathon. This will be in tab 5 in your binders. So just to run through this, we have a load-in between the 17th and the 21st. The race dates will be the 22nd and 23rd. And then load out on the 23rd, and they should be out by the 24th of April. I'm so sorry. The dates that are authorized in this agreement are April 17th through 24th. Notable areas, we have the finish line in lot R, J, K, and H. That area is just over here on the south side of the stadium. Ride share in lot T, and then we do have a beer garden in lot R. Let's see. And then Erica Larson is available for questions if you have any specifics on the race. She is the racing director with Competitor Group. And the only last piece that I have here is the amount is still $10,000. You may remember from last year that one or two times that you did have this in front of you, it was $10,000 to be paid the day before they take the property. So on the 16th of April. So if you have any questions.
There is a map that
Oh, yes.
does a good job of just showing how each lot's going to be used. something that we do regularly. I know you all are very familiar with it, and excited to be able to provide the space for you.
I have a question for
Yes.
Erica.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
thank you.
Congratulations on having the event back in April.
Thank you.
I was just curious with the course, I
Yeah.
don't know what the course is now, with the work on Broadway, will that impact?
So we're working closely with TDOT on that. We have gotten renderings of the lane closures from 10th to 12th, which is where we do have our start line corrals, our start lines on 8th and Broadway. But I believe Brandon does have a start line map. I'm not sure if it's included in there. You can kind of see how we're working around it. We're just gonna have to get a little bit creative in terms of how big the corrals are. But we are talking to TDOT regularly about that. And it sounds like the contractor is gonna be pretty flexible on equipment, moving it kind of around there. I know there's gonna be jersey barriers, between 10th and 12th, but we'll still ultimately be able to have the start line where we've had it historically.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Erica? If not, you guys have been before this authority a number of times,
Yes.
so I think that there's a good understanding of the role we play with you. So I will entertain a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Sports Authority to enter into a license agreement with Competitor Group Incorporated to use Nissan Stadium for its Rock and Roll Marathon. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposers, nay. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Next, we have our Titans Nissan Stadium report. So at this time, I'm gonna turn it over to Bert Nihil. Introduce us to our guest.
Thank you. Burke Nihil, President and CEO of Tennessee Titans and Nissan Stadium. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce you to our new general manager, Rand Carthon. We are really proud of the process that we undertook to find our next general manager. We took 4 or 5 weeks, and we studied hundreds of men and women that would be solid candidates for the job. And at the end of the process, the committee that included our owner, Amy Adams-Strunk, and other executives within our organization were unanimous that Rand Carthon was the right person for the job. Rand brings with him decades of experience in front offices in the National Football League. Going back even further, he played at an SEC school that I won't name this morning. He may, and then was a player for a while in the NFL as well. And one of my favorite stories he told, he had recognized that he wanted to get into the National Football League, perhaps as a scout, even during his playing career. And so as he realized his playing career was likely coming to a conclusion, he decided to continue to take workouts with teams only to get the business cards of the scouts who would be watching him. And actually that process led him to his first job as a scout. And he comes to us most recently from the San Francisco 49ers, who've just done a terrific job of being innovative and collaborative in how they go about building one of the NFL's great rosters. So we're really excited to have him. He's a great talent evaluator. He's a great leader. And when you call around the people who know him best, the thing that you hear is that he's just an incredible human being. And the 4 or 5 weeks, has it been that long? 4 weeks. He's been around. He's just a terrific person, and we're delighted to have him. I want to show you a quick video. I will say, no pressure to this group. He understands this is a more professional environment, but he has gotten used to warm introductions. And so go ahead and play. Brand, this is the Metropolitan Nashville Sports Authority. It's Metropolitan Nashville Sports Authority. This is Rand Carthon.
First and foremost, good morning. Thank you for having me. Burke set me up with that introduction and the video. I wasn't prepared. We'll deal with that later. First and foremost, that welcome, it's been amazing. Me and my family being accepted here into this community, being out in the community, whether I'm grabbing a quick bite to eat from somewhere, I can feel the excitement from all the beautiful people here in Nashville, everyone wishing me well, wishing the team well, and that's something that I take very seriously. You know, I had a young man come to me and, man, we're going to win a championship and you're going to bring us. I was like, all right, let's pump the brakes. You know, one thing I will say, it is my goal to bring a championship here, you know, with the direction of Coach Vrabel. However, the one thing I can promise you is that I'll do the work. That's the only thing I can promise, is that I'll do the work. I'll be diligent in the work, along with my staff and everyone else within the organization, to give this city something to be proud of, you know. So extremely excited about this opportunity, extremely excited to be a part of this community and immerse myself in the community, and you know, look forward to getting to know, you know, everyone here. Winston and I were just talking outside. I scouted Winston, you know, when he played. So I remember him from back in his days at SC all the way through his days in Philly, you know. So, you know, I'm just really excited to be here. This won't be your last time seeing me, and so I'll be a part of this community and hopefully bring you guys a product that you'll be proud of.
Thank you. Well, Rand, I will say that although you may not have noticed it, we are very enthusiastic about your presence. Maybe not quite as enthusiastic as the Titans were on that day, but it's early in the morning, so we are very happy to have you in Nashville.
Thank you, and go Gators.
We just had that conversation. We'll talk about that later. Okay. All right. Thanks again. We appreciate you. Anything? I know, right?
Anything else for the Titans? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome back the Metro team to give a status report on a new stadium for the Titans. Deputy Mayor Sam Wilcox is traveling, so Deputy Law Director Tom Cross and Metro Bond Counsel Jeff Oldham are here to give us an update. Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to be back in front of you, and I know it may seem as if we're giving you the same update month after month. There has been a lot of progress made in the last, within the last month. And the expectation is that we will be filing legislative packages with the council in March, and the same or a very similar set of documents with the Sports Authority also in March. I know Jeff is prepared to talk a little bit about what each of these do, but I should also say we're planning to provide written summaries of what these documents do at the same time that we actually give them to you, as we have done on other deals in the past. So if you're worried about a pop quiz, it'll be open book.
And I don't have a video of Tom marking these documents up. I'm sorry. So, you know, what we're going to come to you in March with flows straight out of the term sheet, you know, that you saw in December. And if we've got any surprises, we've messed up. I mean, so that's what's coming. And so I'll run through. I think you've got a list, but I thought I'd run through just briefly the things that are going to be presented to you, and just give you just 2 or 3 sentences on each. And we're happy to take sort of big picture questions, but I think we'd leave the details to when we bring you the actual documents. The first is an intergovernmental financing agreement. You've seen these before with your other facilities, and that's the agreement where Metro says to you, we'd like for you to issue the bonds to get this facility financed, and Metro says, to the extent we've got revenue streams to help you pay debt service, we'll get those revenue streams to you. That's basically what that agreement does. There will be a state funding agreement. It's been well advertised that the state has committed $500 million up front to this project. And so we've been, you know, one of the many things we've been doing is actively working with them to sort of document all that. That'll be reflected in this state funding agreement. There will be the standard development agreement, which is the document that says All right, we're ready to go now. Who's gonna build it? When are the funds gonna come in? All that type stuff. Obviously, a stadium lease, a non-relocation agreement for the team that says as long as the lease is in place, we're playing football here, in this stadium. A guarantee from the team that says, and this gets down in the weeds, there will likely be the team will have an affiliate company that will actually own the stadium. The team will guarantee their obligations under the stadium lease and the stadium development agreement. That's what that is. There will be a PSL agreement between the two of you where you will sort of administer the sale of PSLs. And then we'll need to amend the existing lease, if for no other reason than to shorten its term so that, when the new building opens, the old lease ends, and a handful of other administrative matters. So those are the primary documents that'll be in front of you. As Tom said, we expect to have them to you in very short order in March. Happy to answer sort of any big picture questions about those.
I'd also like to mention, I know you're seeing me and Jeff, and you see members of the administration, particularly Sam and Kelly Flannery, the Director of Finance. The group of people working on this on behalf of Metro and the Sports Authority is much larger. I think on one of the slides that was presented September, October, about the negotiating team, but it includes a national law firm with a ton of experience on stadium deals, some sports facility advisors, another team that does sort of financing work on stadiums. So just because you're seeing just me and Jeff, there are a whole lot of other people that are working on this as well. Just sort of as a reminder. So getting to the finish line involves easily 20 people.
Questions?
So you mentioned the state's contribution of $500 million, and we're certainly grateful for their participation, but the state legislature this session is also talking about some things that I think, in my view, could complicate our position, not the least of which is revisiting this authority and our scope of focus. How, if that legislation lands, would that affect this process, and how can we sort of remediate that risk?
Well, you can clean up my mistakes about that. The administration and legal department, everybody within Metro is well aware of the legislation. We're pushing on all fronts and hope for some kind of an amicable resolution on those things. That none of the legislation, to my knowledge, that's been filed to date directly affects the state's commitment to contribute financially to this project.
But if we were to pass these documents that will be presented to us next month, do you anticipate that any further action with regards to the Sports Authority and our autonomy would force a revisitation of that? Will it slow the process is ultimately what I'm getting at.
It's hard to predict, but my expectation at this point is probably not.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Not, thank you for that update. We appreciate your time this morning. Finally, we will open the floor now to questions from the board for our facility managers, team executives, partners. Any comments or questions this morning? I think we've heard a little bit from most everyone, except First Horizon. Okay, no questions. So, this might be a marathon meeting. We're now at the point where we're going to conclude our agenda. I'd like to thank the members of the board, the Sports Authority staff, Metro Legal and Finance, and our facility team representatives for your input today. The next full board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March 16th, and we anticipate that we will also have a Finance Committee meeting prior to that meeting. Also, based on what we've just heard from the mayor's office, I think it's highly likely that we'll have a called work session between now and March 16th to discuss definitive documents as staff works on potential dates. I think Valda would appreciate it if you have any dates that you know you are not available, if you reach out, send those to her so that she can plan around it. And we can find a date where the majority can attend. Can't stress enough how important these work sessions will be. So I hope that each of you will make a dire effort to be present. Are there any final questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.